There are some things in the universe that defy explanation. From the sky to the deep ocean and even the farthest reaches of space, there's plenty of sound anomalies that have not only stumped our brightest minds, but have led to years of speculation and fear. Let's take a look at the Unsolved Mysteries of Sound. I guess I should explain sound waves before we go any further. A healthy young person can hear in a frequency range between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. Now, what does that all mean? Well, sound waves are vibrations in the air and ground. The measurement of those sound waves is called frequency, which basically means the amount of vibrations per second. 1 Hz is equal to 1 vibration per second. 2 Hz is 2 vibrations per second, and so on. A sound with a low frequency, or under 20 Hz, the pitch will be too low to be heard by a human ear. When you look at the higher range of frequency, the pitch gets even higher, and beyond 20 kHz is also inaudible to humans, which means there are sounds all around us every day that we cannot hear. But worry not, science and technology to the rescue. But that does make for an interesting problem. Some of the sounds being heard outside the human experience can't really be explained. In 1997, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, recorded a minute-long sound that has since been named the bloop. They believe it came from an area west of Chile in the middle of the ocean. Now, the weird thing about this is that it registered on 2 underwater microphones about 5,000 kilometers apart. Have a listen. Now, that's a bloop. It was a one-time sound and has never been observed since. To this day, there is no conclusive evidence either way as to where it came from. Some scientists do believe that the sound was made from ocean ice, but that isn't the only head-scratcher from underwater, though. Around the same time, researchers heard what sounded like somebody saying Julia. I don't know, you listen to it again, it's hard to say Julia might be a bit of a stretch, but the closest conclusion they could make was an iceberg running aground. But there are still many researchers that don't buy that theory. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we don't want to explore down there. Next, we move up a bit and tackle a phenomenon that is completely unexplained yet is blamed in the death of at least 3 people. It's called the hum. It also goes by the name Bristol hum or Teo's hum. Now, the hum is a low-frequency tone that resonates somewhere between 32 Hz and 80 Hz. One of the biggest reasons it hasn't been solved is that it's rumored that only 2% of the population can actually hear it. Now, because of that fact, a lot of people were not taken seriously when reporting it, being debunked as having tinnitus in the ear. But there is one fact that seems to stump a lot of researchers. Cases of this mysterious sound have been localized, hence the name. It was first reported in the 70s in Bristol and continues to this day. So what does the hum sound like? That was a recreation of the sound from a researcher by the name of Tom Moyer, who is actually afflicted with hearing it himself. And while no one really knows where it comes from, all the people that can hear it describe it in the exact same way, like a diesel engine running off in the distance. And yeah, it has been literally driving people nuts. At least 3 suicides have been reported in the UK due to the sound, and at least 1 attempted suicide in the US. But I have to caution you, do not mistake the hum for our next unexplained mystery, though many people do confuse the two. But despite many similarities, they are nothing alike. This one also comes from the sky. It has been called the Trumpet of God, as it kind of sounds like a poorly tuned instrument is going off in the sky, and sometimes sounds like grating metal and is just all around creepy sounding. The general consensus for a name seems to be skyquakes. In 2017, it blew up all around the world. Videos were being posted to social media, and it caused a lot of armchair theories. One of the most popular came straight out of the Bible. Now, if you haven't heard it yet, here it is. As you can hear, it does have some very ominous overtones, which has led to several people claiming it was the sign of the coming of the end, as laid out in Revelations in the Bible. Well, there is a problem with that, though. These aren't exactly a new phenomenon. They've been around for years, and some historians actually believe they may have been the inspiration for the book of Revelations. So what are they then? Well, there really is only conjecture. The sound has been heard all around the world, including both Canada, the US, Italy, Iran, the Netherlands, literally everywhere. So I guess that means it takes some of the localized explanations out of the equation. NASA tried explaining it away by calling it just ambient earth noise, basically just natural background noise. Well, perhaps, if not a boring response, it also seems like it might be a tad more common if that was the fact. Other explanations dealt with tectonic plates shifting, which doesn't make complete sense in every area that it was heard in. Another thought was coronal mass ejection, which is basically a solar flare that causes the northern lights. But despite all the guesses, there hasn't been any concrete proof for any of it. So, where are the trumpets in the sky coming from? I tell you, if it's biblical, God needs to tune his instruments. Next, we move on to something even further away. For years, scientists have been listening to space for any errant radio transmission that just might prove intelligent life. Not really listening for the sick album drop from some alien soldier boy, but more or less listening for the footprint of radio transmissions coming from different star clusters. And for the most part, haven't really yielded much. It's pretty quiet out there, you could say. But on August 15th, 1977, a researcher by the name of Jerry R. Amon was working on a SETI project at Ohio University when he picked up a signal that lasted exactly 72 seconds. It has since been called the wow signal. It's not a piece of audio of someone saying wow. It got its name from Jerry, who when he recorded the sound, he wrote wow beside the blip on the paper. It's not as exciting as it sounds. In case you're wondering, this is what it sounded like. The special thing about this signal is it didn't conform to anything else out there, and it was a one-time event. It has never been heard again. Back down to Earth for the last one. Now, it's officially known as UVB-76, but it is commonly called the buzzer. It's a shortwave radio station broadcasting at 4.625 kilohertz out of Russia. Now, what gets this station on the list is the fact that the primary broadcast of this station is a monotonous buzzer that repeats itself anywhere from 21 to 34 times per minute. But there is also a voice that comes on from time to time to read out a bunch of numbers before going back to the buzzing. Up until 2010, it was considered very rare to hear a voice on the station, until one day, it just suddenly sprang to life. At one point in 2016, it had as many as 18 messages in a single day. Now, that voice that comes over is considered to be a live transmission, and generally, this is what you'd hear.
Константин, Роман, Иван, Николай, Ульяна, Михаил, 01 48 04 95, Павел, Роман, Иван, Ольга, Роман.
Now, if you don't speak Russian, you're forgiven. It's just a bunch of names followed by a few numbers. But it would seem there have been some incidents where background conversations have also been heard, as well as a couple phone conversations. all of it having a very cloak and dagger feel to it. The reason for that is simple. There's really nothing to indicate exactly what any of it is for. There are a few guesses, but the Russian government, they're not saying anything. In a BBC article, they surmised that it might be a dead hand signal that would trigger a retaliatory nuclear attack if Russia was ever hit. Some also believe it might be a simple way of giving orders for assassinations. And the Russian Journal of Earth figured it was an observatory for measuring the changes in the ionosphere. Either way, though, it has to be the worst music station ever. Now, before you go, some other cool facts. There are other station anomalies out there, like the Lincolnshire Poacher, a British station that was thought to have been run by the British Secret Service. And then, several Cubans were charged with espionage on the U.S. for allegedly using a similar station to relay information back to Cuba. Back to the deep blue, there's one other anomaly known as the 52 Hertz whale. It's an undiscovered single whale that calls out at exactly 52 hertz. Now, what makes that special is every other whale that is known to scientists uses the frequency between 10 and 39 hertz. Now, this whale has been tracked since 1989 and to this day is still picked up on recordings. Now, some have speculated that the whale may be malformed, which has led to the unusual frequency for calling out. And even a group representing the deaf have reached out to the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution thinking that the whale might be deaf. Anyhow, this is a singular case. No other whale has ever popped up having this issue, leading researchers to call it the loneliest whale. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, and you can always check out some other videos that this channel has done here and here.